Hi beauties! Welcome back to my channel. And as you know, today there's no M, so it's just going to be me and you today. We're going to have a very serious conversation. So go ahead and grab your popcorn, get your tea or your juice. I have my drink right here. It's going to be a very powerful and moving video today. I'm going to talk about a very serious topic. So before we go ahead and get this video started, go ahead and like this video. Make sure you share this video and hit that subscribe button, and make sure you ring the little bell so you're notified whenever we upload a video. And so I do want to say that I am very nervous about filming this video. This is going to be a very real video, a very honest video. There may be some tears, tissues, you know, if you see people cry and you cry too, we might just be crying together. Either way, I think this video is very powerful, and the reason why I'm talking about it is because a lot of women don't discuss this. A lot of women are ashamed, embarrassed to bring it to light because I don't want to be shamed. So this is my postpartum story. So like many of you may or may not know, I am 38 and I have 3 kids. 2 of them are from a previous marriage. I have a 21-year-old, my daughter M is 16, and then my 2-year-old Sophia. I'm going to talk about my son David. A young mom. I had him when I was 17 years old, pregnant at 16, and like a lot of teen pregnancies, you're made to feel embarrassed, like ashamed, like how could you do this? Why would you get pregnant? Like you're ruining your future. You don't understand what you're doing. You know, that conversation. And then obviously you have guilt because you got pregnant and according to society, you've ruined your life. So, you know, you have that. Not to throw anybody under the bus, but again, this is my story and this is my truth. And I'm trying to be very open and honest with you guys. But in that time when I had gotten pregnant, my parents were telling me that I wasn't welcome in their home if I decided to keep the baby. So I was essentially being pressured to have an abortion. I did go to like a counselor to kind of discuss the option. There was even adoption that was talked about, just a bunch of things that I feel like I knew that I didn't want to do it, but I was like, you know, to make the situation maybe to where I'm going to be okay, my baby's going to be okay, I'll explore the option with no intention of actually doing it. But I did feel very pressured to have an abortion. Because again, you're ruining your future. How could you do this? Do you know what you're doing? You're not going to be able to live the life that you want. Things are not going to be the same. Like just those type of things. And the guilt, the disappointment that you feel because you're disappointing your parents and everybody around you. So when that happens, it makes you feel like worthless. So needless to say, I did not go through with that, obviously. But other feelings came from that. I'm so sorry, you guys. I was trying not to cry. But this is me being very open and vulnerable in sharing my story. I hope that I'm able to share this story or share my truth and help somebody, because I didn't get the help that I needed, and as a matter of fact I didn't even understand what I was experiencing. So that's why I'm talking about it. So I had my son, and I didn't have those, oh my God, I'm having a baby, I'm so happy, I'm so excited. Like, I never felt that. I went to the hospital, had my son, and it was like I was having a stranger. I didn't have no emotional connection to my son whatsoever. Not in the least. And I was angry. I was so angry, and I felt so disappointed in myself. Like, what am I gonna do? I'm 17 years old. My parents were getting ready to move back to Texas, because that's where we had came from, to make the move to Arizona, because all of our family's from here. My dad made the decision to move back to Texas, and I stayed behind. I got his place with my baby's dad, ex-husband now, and we lived our lives. But let me go back. So I felt like I was having a stranger, and I had no emotional connection to this child. And the next thing that I'm going to say, I don't want to be judged. I've never ever said any of these things out loud. I think that I've always been too afraid to say them, but I've seen like things that come out in the media, and I'm like, wow, I've actually felt that way, but I never actually said them. So I went to my checkup after I had the baby, and they're like, hey, so how are you feeling? Fine. Oh, do you have any feelings of sadness? No. I mean, I didn't feel sad. That's not what I felt. So I was like, no. Like, okay, so you're fine. I'm like, yeah, I guess. I mean, I can only answer what I know. So I can't believe I'm going to say this right now. I'm going to say this. If you don't want to hear what I'm about to say, and I do want to iterate, these were my thoughts only. My thoughts only. This was never something that I acted upon. This was just my thoughts. And again, I didn't really understand them. So it's kind of not something awesome that you would want to hear me say. So if you're somebody who doesn't like to hear what I'm about to say, I would just advise to click off now, because it's not fun what I'm about to say, and I really hope I don't get judged for it, because again, my point is to help somebody else going through this, somebody else afraid to speak out, somebody that's afraid that they're going to be shamed for what they're feeling. So that's the purpose of me saying this. All right, so here goes. So we took my son back to the apartment, and he would cry, and again, me having postpartum, I did not care. I was like, who the hell is this kid crying? Why the hell is he crying? And why is he crying for me? I don't even like you. And he would cry. So I'd feed him, change his diapers, like try to stop him from crying, because those, you know, that's what you're supposed to do, right? Well, there was, I'm so nervous to say this, but again, it's the truth. So he would cry, and I would just imagine getting up and throwing him against the wall so he would just shut up. And again, I never acted on these thoughts. I just would think it. I thought it all the time. And I felt ashamed to say that. I felt ashamed to say it right now, because who thinks that about their baby? Who says those things about their baby? Who? Somebody that's terrible, an awful person, somebody who doesn't love their baby. It wasn't that I loved my child. I just didn't understand what I was feeling. There would be times when I didn't want to do anything for him. I didn't know this strange kid that came out of me that I had no emotional connection to. Why? Why did I have to do anything for him? Why? Because I'm his mom. I guess that's a good enough reason. So I did what I had to do. I think that by the time maybe he was 2, those feelings started to diminish. But obviously he stopped crying. So that was really not an issue, because he didn't cry as he got older. Things just kind of changed. But I think as time went on, like, I did start to have an emotional connection with him, but it wasn't until he got a little bit older. And I feel so terrible for even feeling this way or feeling that way, but I never ever got the help I needed. I never understood it until I remember I was having a conversation with a coworker. Oh, how old are we when we had him? And I'm like, oh, 17. She's like, oh, how cute. I bet you guys were like the best of friends. You probably had an awesome bond. You probably were so in love. I'm like, lady, I didn't even like him. She's like, what do you mean? And I kind of explained to her what I just explained to you guys. And she's like, honey, you had postpartum. And I go, what do you mean postpartum? She goes, there are women who kill their babies because of postpartum. There are women that kill themselves because they have postpartum and they don't get treated. They don't ever get help. They never reach out to anybody. They never tell anybody how they feel, because I didn't feel like those mothers in a magazine. I wasn't like, oh, I'm so excited. I love you. Like, I'm so in love with you. I can't believe this. I didn't feel like those women in those magazines. I felt the 100% complete opposite of those women in those magazines. And I felt like a monster because of how I felt. And because I never told anybody. I was too ashamed to tell anybody. Fast forward to my second child. I finally understood what having that bond with your child was. I was like so in love. I couldn't wait to have her. It was like the most amazing feeling. Like, I was, at this time, I think I was 22 years old. I was a little bit older. Things were a little bit different. So when they asked me like the questions, I'm like, no, I felt fine. There was no issue. Now, fast forward to baby 3. So my youngest daughter. So after I had her, I was nursing, and we were going to California to visit my husband's family. And we were on the 110, I think it was, freeway, and California has crazy traffic. And this time, my postpartum wasn't the same as my postpartum for my first child. It was different because it was more of a anxiety, like PTSD. Something's gonna happen to us. We're gonna die. Someone's gonna kill us. Someone's gonna kidnap her. Someone's gonna steal my baby. They're gonna murder her. Like, all these crazy things. Like, was so overprotective. It was insane. I was even about to quit my job because I didn't want to go back to work because I didn't want nobody taking care of my baby. So we were visiting my husband's family in California, and I believe we were on the 110. I could be wrong. I don't know. I just know we would take the 210 to the 110 to the 10, possibly, whatever. I'm probably telling a lie. I don't know. Either way, we're on a freeway, and we're going to visit like his aunt or his somebody, cousin maybe. I'm not sure. And their freeway split off because so you're in the middle, and they split off this way, and they split off this way. So we were obviously using GPS. So I'm using GPS. All of a sudden the GPS tells me to go left. I'm in the middle. There's traffic everywhere. And I'm thinking, I'm starting to have a panic attack, and I'm freaking out at this point. Freaking out. I'm in tears. I'm bawling my eyes out. I can't do this. We're gonna die. Something's wrong. Like, they're gonna kill us, all these people on the road. Like, it was like dramatic. I'm like in tears. I'm freaking out in the middle of the freeway, traffic, cars coming everywhere at you. I felt like how I just described, I was panicking. It was just terrible. So I told my husband, I was like, something's wrong. Like, I can't really describe how you feel right now, but I know something's wrong. Something is wrong. So I found a therapist, and we addressed my anxiety. We addressed the postpartum. We like addressed all those things. And this was, my daughter was 6 months old at the time. And to this day, I'm in therapy. Therapy has been amazing for me. And I'm able to recognize when I'm having the postpartum symptoms, and they manifest into different things. Like, obviously with my first child, it was anger, resentment. I was disappointed in myself. I was disappointed in me disappointing my family, not being a good mom. Like, my family left me behind and went to a different state. This time my postpartum manifested into anxiety, PTSD, like somebody harming me, someone harming my baby, me being overprotective. And again, this time, instead of hiding it, instead of not speaking out, I said something. I went to counseling right away, and I got help. And I told my husband, I'm not feeling right. Something's wrong with me. I need to go to therapy. He was very supportive. Even to this day, he's supportive. And I continue to go because it continues to be my outlet. It continues to be my outlet for all things that we all should go for. Again, us women don't talk about these things because we don't want to be shamed. We don't want to be. So us women, we decide, we're strong. We can handle anything. We can. But sometimes when it comes to bringing a child into this life, our body goes through things we don't understand. We're making a human being, and we are nurturing that human being for 9 months, and they come out, and then our bodies have to readjust and kind of go back to normal. And then if you're nursing, well, that's a whole nother thing because your hormones are still crazy. So that is my postpartum journey. So I hope that I was able to help somebody by speaking my truth. I hope I was able to help somebody the way I never got help. Please, if you are experiencing any symptoms, if you're experiencing postpartum and you don't really, or maybe you don't even realize that you're experiencing it, but you're experiencing something, speak out. Tell somebody, go to a therapist, pour your heart out. Don't hold anything back because you want to be okay. You have to mentally be okay for yourself, for you to take care of your child. Now, being a teen mom, obviously it's a little bit hard because you kind of feel like well, I have to pay for money, I can't afford that. But there's, if you're on like Access, or if you're on government help, they have free counseling that you can get into, mental health counseling that you can get into. Please reach out. Please, please. Others out there that are not getting the help you need, I encourage you to get help. I encourage you to reach out, to speak to somebody, to do something. Do not hold it in. I went untreated for my son's entire life until I had my third child. And that's been some time now. I went untreated. Didn't even know I had it. But it took a coworker or an older person to tell me that I had postpartum. And I was like, what? So please reach out. Get the help you need. Talk to somebody. I beg you. I see these women in the news that kill their babies, drown them, kill themselves. It's awful. And thank God that I never did any of those things. I never acted on anything that I thought about. So that's my story. And please get help. And hopefully I was able to help somebody and reach somebody today. And I'm so sorry. I try to hold in the tears, but some of those memories do bring them out. So comment below what you thought, or if you have your own story that you want to share with me. I'm happy to listen. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll be back with more videos. Bye-bye.